serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
You're watching K34QB, Vail, Colorado.
Good morning and welcome into this Thursday edition of the show. I'm your host, Ross Leonhardt. It is the 10th of October. It is a beautiful fall day. We are wrapping up fall, looking towards winter. Epic pass prices just went up today. So lots going on today's show. We're going to take a look at that weather. We're going to talk a little bit of health. We're going to look in the kitchen. We're going to talk about the bunkhouse. Got a lot going on, so grab that cup of coffee. Good Morning Vail starts right now.
Things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies has it all. So get up, get ready to start your day. The coffee's brewing, you're on your way. The fun is waiting outside your door. Good morning, Vail.
And welcome into the TV8 Weather Center. On this Thursday morning, the sun is shining and the leaves are falling. It is a sunny day, 44 degrees to start off at 8 a.m. We'll see a high of 70 degrees today. Mostly sunny skies, some light winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour coming in from the west, southwest today. Nothing too crazy. Should be a beautiful day out there. Into the hourly, things heat up to about 64 degrees at noon and 69 degrees at 4 p.m. before coming down to 57 degrees at 8 p.m. and those partly cloudy skies roll in this evening, but should be mostly sunny throughout the day today. Into the I-70 corridor, Eagle looking at a high of 77 still. Avon 73, Vail 70 degrees, and Denver a high of 84. Mostly sunshine throughout the Rocky Mountain region today. And this weekend, if you're heading out, let's take a look. Partly cloudy skies expected on Friday with a high of 69, a low of 41. That's pretty chilly. Saturday, a high of 68. Low of 43. Sunday, a high of 66 and a chance of afternoon showers on Sunday. Looking a little ahead into next week, mostly sunny skies to start with highs coming down into 67 on Monday and 65 on Tuesday. So those temperatures starting to come down a little bit as the month of October rolls along here. Looking up next, we are going to be going to a break. Let's take a quick break and be right back.
Good morning, Vail.
Stevie Lee Woods presents Nashville Roadhouse Live, where country meets rock and roll.
It's where I drank my first beer, where I found Jesus, where I wrecked my first car, I tore it all to pieces. Join us every week for more live performances right here on Nashville Roadhouse Live.
Did you know that all Eagle County residents and visitors can get a free Eagle Valley Library District card? All you need is a photo ID. You get our online databases and resources, free music, free streaming, all from wherever you have internet access. Free audiobooks and e-audiobooks straight to your phone. Go into your Eagle Valley Library District branch today and get your library card.
here in the Vail Valley. We have so many great places to stay if you're visiting. One place to consider is a hostel unlike any other called the Bunkhouse in Minturn, and Gretchen caught up with them. Let's take a look at the bunkhouse.
Welcome back to the show. Now I'm very excited to talk to Ryan Richards, the Bunkhouse. How are you doing? Of Minturn, I should say. Bunkhouse of Minturn. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm very good. Very excited to hear about the Bunkhouse because I've heard a lot about it, and I want to hear how it came to be, what your thought process was there. How did it start? How did the Bunkhouse start out?
Yeah, it started after the Great Recession, and during that time when Vail Resorts came out with the Epic Pass.
Okay.
Their vision and mission, from my understanding, was to make the sport more inclusive, where historically the sport has been exclusive based on cost.
True.
And,
yeah.
you know, all of the expenses that come with that sport. And when the Epic Pass came out, it was around $500.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just, it became so much more inclusive
Right.
to skiers and snowboarders who have not historically been able to enjoy the sport. And I noticed that a lot of the younger generation was buying a ski pass.
Right.
And of course, we know I-70
Yes.
has been a cluster.
Yes.
Well, it wasn't like that in the early 2000s when I moved here. And that's how the Bunkhouse came to pass, recognizing that there were people across broad socioeconomic boundaries, and it became more inclusive. And so we recognized, my business partners, that they didn't have a place to stay. They weren't staying at the Four Seasons or the Ritz-Carlton or the Sebastian or the Sun and
And there was a need there that no one was really, okay, that's so cool. That's
Yep.
really, and why Minturn?
Minturn, it was really a stroke of luck
Okay.
on how it happened. We were looking at Edwards, Vail,
Yeah,
Avon, and some of it was cost prohibitive, but the biggest challenge was parking.
Oh, okay.
Was
Yep.
parking based on zoning and just the lack of infrastructure to have parking. And as the zoning was at the time,
Yeah.
you needed a parking spot per room or per bed.
Yes.
And most of the commercial locations that we looked at didn't have enough parking.
That's so
And it just so
interesting.
came to pass that the Union Pacific Railroad that owns the dirt lot at the end of Minturn,
Yeah.
we could lease spots from the town. And given that it was its own incorporation,
Yeah.
it was a little bit easier to convince the town council to let us do such a project.
Well, and I was going to say, what a beautiful spot, because Minturn is stunning. It's become such a hip space, and it's where the Bunkhouse is gorgeous. I mean, you can't get much better. The views are amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. So it was a win-win pretty much for you. And
Yes.
how long has the Bunkhouse been here?
8 years.
8 years. Okay. And what have you seen throughout those 8 years? Because I know a lot has happened, obviously, in 8 years in our society. But
Yeah. Well, I think the first thing that we saw is how welcoming the community's been to it.
Awesome.
When we went through the process with planning and zoning in Minturn and then the town council, it was a struggle.
Okay.
At first, it was very frowned upon. Nobody had done this before.
Okay.
And there was a lot of pushback from the community based on what type of guest was going to stay there.
That's interesting because I would have never thought of that, but it makes sense.
Yeah, and originally they put a sunset clause on the conditions of how we were going to perform the first year, and we performed flawlessly.
Awesome. Okay.
We have really strict standards and guidelines on how we operate the business.
Cool.
So that's been something that's been interesting. But the biggest change and shift that we saw was when the pandemic happened.
Mm-hmm.
We had government regulations that shut us down, and we had to pivot. Our occupancy was in the toilet.
And
So we actually converted for a time to short-term employee housing, and we still actually have a little bit of a mix of that.
That's cool to know. I mean, that's a really big thing. And because when you hear the word hostel, I have been all over Europe and stayed in hostels that I loved. And I wonder what is that some people just automatically think that's going to be not something, like you said, getting pushback, because I've never felt like that.
Yeah, I don't know where the pushback really.
Yeah.
I think it's just because it's something new. It's just like electric
you don't
vehicles.
know, right.
Right. Look at the electric vehicles haven't taken the market by storm because
Right.
consumers are
Scared.
They're
or get
scared
nervous.
to change.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think it was a similar
Kind of
idea.
feeling.
Yeah.
Okay. That
But
makes sense.
But we really pride ourselves on running the business effectively through cleanliness. Anytime you walk in there,
Yeah.
it is absolutely clean.
I've heard all of this, to be quite honest with you.
We do not allow guests to bring their own linen in.
Okay.
And we also have full-time staff that lives on property.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
all of the staff, they get free housing in exchange for one day of work.
Oh, wow.
So it's an environment where they work one day a week,
Yeah.
they get free housing, so then they have 6 other days a week to recreate and work a paying job.
That's awesome.
And we have really, really high standards
Right.
for how we operate. It's always clean, it's always
yeah.
safe, and it's a community where single travelers mostly,
Right.
or solo travelers that otherwise wouldn't stay in a hotel room because of
Yes.
cost, they get to find a community to connect.
I love that. And that's such a powerful point, and I love that you said that as well. Even if you're not single, but you're traveling solo, like you
Right.
said, or you're single, you want to have that safe space and to meet other like-minded people, and maybe not always just go to the bar down the street, you know, go and meet people that share traveling interests, hiking, maybe going to the bar. You know, it's all kind of thrown in there together. I love that.
Yeah, and with that being said, talking about the solo traveler, that was one of the demographics that we identified early on.
Okay.
And a matter of fact, earlier this summer, I made a connection with a woman, Raylene Wooden,
Okay.
who started Mountain Connect. Raylene lives in Carlsbad, California, and I had reached out on this Facebook group, and
Yeah.
her whole vision and mission is to bring skiers and snowboarders together in community.
Love it.
And when I met Raylene, we created an ambassadorship, and now we're officially hosting buyouts at the bunkhouse for skiers and snowboarders
So
or other
cool.
mountain adventurers
Yeah.
to come in a safe place
Yeah.
and to connect and find community.
I love that.
Yeah, and we actually had our first event the weekend of August 23rd, where we had 15 individuals that came from all over the country. They stayed.
So cool.
We had mountain biking and paddle boarding and
I'm so mad I missed out on that.
well, there's going to be more events,
Cool.
and we're going to do a buyout in December, the first week in December.
Okay, that's awesome. And how can people find more information if they're interested in that before we talk about everything with your the bunkhouse? Is that going to be on a website?
Yeah,
or?
we post it through Mountain Connect's
Okay.
Facebook site.
Okay.
And then also on vailbunkhouse.com.
That's so cool. That's awesome. And speaking of, I love skiing. I talk about it nonstop. Everyone gets a little annoyed here, but I think that's so brilliant for people. I'm on a bunch of group chats with skiers, snowboarders, knowing they can come to Vail and they don't have to even like crash at someone's house. Because I feel like a lot of times people feel they're being intrusive, or they feel like they're bothersome. And here's a great way that you can have your own space, meet new people, and get to go ride the mountain. That's amazing.
It's amazing.
That is so. And can I ask you price points, or is that all on the website?
It's on the website,
Okay.
but it all fluctuates based on supply and demand.
Right.
Typically in the summertime, it'll range from $50 to $75 a night for a bunk.
That's amazing.
And then in the winter times, we'll get over $100. And of course, the prices have gone up. We
Right.
have increased them just because of the
Right.
inflation that
Yeah.
we're
Oh, I
all
get it.
suffering from.
Yes.
So but we still, and that was the vision behind the bunkhouse, is spend money on cool adventures,
You're right.
not expensive hotels.
Love it. As I've gotten older, I've gotten into that vibe more and more, because I want to have the memories and not just the 7 hours I'm spending sleeping at the hotel, because I'm someone that wants to go do. I don't want to just sit at the hotel, and so that's neat. You get to meet people, be there and sleep, and go spend money on adventures too.
Yeah.
That's neat. Let me ask you, are you able to bring in animals to the bunkhouse at all, or is that?
You cannot.
Okay.
And here's
No,
why.
that's a good thing to, yeah.
We have a mascot, Diamond.
Oh,
My partner has a dog
Yes.
that lives on property.
Okay.
She's an American Terrier Pit Bull, and she is well trained,
Love.
and she is so lovely.
so if you're missing your animal, you get to have Diamond.
Yeah, but,
to hang out.
but
Yeah.
Diamond doesn't get along with other dogs. So,
No, I get that.
At times, but
Right.
she is amazing, and
I-
she lives on property.
Well, I love that. So if you're missing your pup, then you can play with Diamond and just
Yeah.
get your fill. That is so neat. So does the bunkhouse, during kind of this season we're coming upon, during mud season, is it still going through mud season, or do you close for a little
We
bit?
don't close.
Okay.
We will close a week in May
Okay.
after the winter season, but in the in the fall season, we're still open for business.
Awesome. So like all the leaf peepers out there
Oh, yeah.
that want to come up from Denver. I'm excited. Now I have somewhere to tell my friends, because so often they'll want to come up, and I love that they want to stay with me, but sometimes it's not, you know, and I'll be like, I have a place for you. That is so brilliant. That's so neat. So where can everyone go and get more information about the bunkhouse?
VailBunkhouse.com,
Okay.
obviously through Google, and we have
Cool.
an Instagram account, The
Yes.
Bunkhouse. And we're on Facebook.
Awesome.
It's pretty easy to find.
I'm very excited. I have had many friends stay there, so I know all the good stuff about it, but that's brilliant. Maybe I need a staycation one night. I'll leave with the dogs in Edwards and come on.
That's good.
Go to Minturn.
That's good. You should.
Thank you so much for sharing with us everything, and we're excited to check out the bunkhouse even more.
Well, thank you for having me.
Of course. And keep it right here. We have more of the show to come.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome to Hiring America, the television program that helps veterans find jobs and transition back into civilian life. Hi everyone, I'm Gigi Stone Woods. I'm truly honored to host this vital program. Reach out to the opportunities you see on this program by logging onto our website, hiringamerica.net, and by following us on social networking sites such as Twitter. We'll keep that information available throughout the broadcast and on our website 24/7. Now, let's get down to business.
This show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners. This is a scooter. Have you had it the whole time?
I have not. It's actually the third time I've owned the car.
Sell, regret, sell, regret. To the actual prototype GT40, I got to sit in that car.
Oh, I gotta get me one of these, man.
We've got all the muscle, the speed, and the stories.
I got stage 4 cancer. A bunch of friends came together and decided that this thing needed to get done then. A lot of friends came together and made this thing happen.
Hey, if it has an engine and a story, you're going to hear about it on rides. Almost every vehicle, doesn't matter what walk of life you're from, there's some tie to your past.
I'm Jason Kennedy, and this is The Wager. Let's go, Wes! We've all heard about this pickleball craze. Celebrities are playing pickleball matches all the time, and they're challenging each other to these ridiculous bets. Now I'm bringing the cameras to their house with new celebrities and a new bet every week.
Hell of a rally there.
It's just real, genuine conversation.
I got invited to Usher's birthday party. What am I doing here?
And some pretty crazy antics.
For fun and adventure, join me on Elizabeth Stanton's Great Big World. Find out where I'll be going next and which celebrities I'll be bringing along with me. I'll show you amazing destinations with lots to explore, and you'll get to know my celebrity guests the way they really are, up close and personal. We'll travel the world, experience new cultures, and together, try to make a difference. I'm Elizabeth Stanton, saying the world's a big place, and I'm going to show it to you.
Experience the beauty of fall on the rails of the Leadville Railroad. Take in the cool mountain breeze as you climb to 11,000 feet to watch the vibrant reds, oranges, and golds of fall come alive. Enjoy delicious hot beverages, learn some history, and relax with family and friends. Create fall memories in the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Offering daily trips, the weekend specials sell out fast. To secure your seat, book today at leadvillerailroad.com.
So many adventures to do, still happening right now, and Ben Roof went on an adventure recently. Let's catch up with Ben and see what he's up to.
Welcome to Outdoor Adventures. I'm Ben Roof. We are here at Yeoman Park, part of Sylvan Lake State Park, getting ready for a 3.5 mile out and back hike to Nolan Lake, totaling 7 miles. It's going to be a gorgeous high alpine lake in the shadow of Gold Dust Peak. Now, we are at Yeoman Park now, which means we're going to have to drive 6 miles up a dirt switchback road to get to Fulford. Fulford is an old mining community founded in the late 1800s that is now mostly home to summer cabins. It's only accessible by road in summer and by snowmobile in winter. It's going to be a fun little drive, so let's get started. So we've made it up to Fulford. The road isn't terrible, and as long as your vehicle has pretty good ground clearance, you shouldn't need four-wheel drive to make it all the way up. However, I can imagine things could get pretty rough if it's raining or if the roads are wet. Up at the trailhead, we are here at 9,920 feet in elevation. There is some dispersed parking right around the trailhead across from Fulford and the entrance to the town. We are going to finish the hike up at 11,342 feet, gaining and losing and having to regain about 600 feet of elevation when we hit a saddle on the trail about halfway through. Don't forget, we're hiking at altitude, so it's going to be easy to get hydrated, especially in this warm summer. So make sure we've got plenty of water and some bug spray, because there are a lot of flies, at least the beginning of the trail. But as long as we're prepared, let's get started. After we've crossed that creek on our way up the trail, we do have to split off from the old mining road we've been following since the trailhead. About 400 yards after we cross the creek next to the old building, we do come to the fork in the road. And back here behind me is the Nolan Lake Trail. It's a little bit tricky to see as we're walking up the logging road. And this old road keeps going and is very much more of a defined path. It's easy to miss. So, after the creek, got to make sure we're looking to the left-hand side there for this old tree and the gap that's been sawed through it. Let's go. Things start to get quite a bit steeper as the trail is starting to begin to wind its way up a fairly significant hill face. It's going to have to work its way around several different steep rock outcroppings, which makes the trail a little bit narrow and a little bit windy. Fortunately, we do have pretty solid footing the whole way up before we reach the National Wilderness boundary. So the last section of our hike does start off with that bit of a short but steep and windy section there going through the rocks. Afterwards, we come out towards some talus fields and an alpine marsh. After passing the marsh, we're going to hit our wilderness boundary, and that is the signal that we are almost on top of the lake. It's just a little bit more to regain that 600 feet that we lost coming down in the marsh, but we'll be right on top of the lake after that, and not a moment too soon, because I'm starting to get a bit thirsty. Let's get going. Well, we are just about to the lake, but it has started to rain on me, so hopefully it's not too far away. The rain has really picked up, which is always a risk at the high alpine. You never know what the weather's gonna do as you start closing in on tree line. Well, thankfully the rain broke, and hopefully we'll have a beautiful sunny rest of the hike. We're here at Nolan Lake. Despite having a bit of rain to deal with, some muddy spots in the trail, and some spots where trees falling over the trail made it a little bit difficult to navigate, and the bugs have been kind of atrocious. I would say overall, it's a moderate to difficult trail. Not terribly easy, but nice and scenic the whole way. It's absolutely gorgeous. Once we're at the lake, we've still got snow, it's nice and cool, there's a beautiful view, and the water is crystal clear. Now, let's enjoy the views a little bit. One of the biggest challenges on any hike is making sure that we bring enough water with us. Water can get heavy and can be a hassle to carry. So one thing that I always make sure that I have in my pack is a life straw. This product is by Vestergaard, and it's a fantastic little lightweight water filter that you can bring with you just about anywhere. It's small, it's light, it can fit in your backpack, it can fit in your pocket, it can even fit in your car. And the way it works is you just pop the lid open here. This is the filter side, and this is the drinking side. And you just take this guy, stick it in your water source, and just drink just like it's a straw. This is a fantastic product that can make sure, as long as you have a water source, you'll have somewhere where you can get some drinkable water from. And it does a great job at filtering out not just dirt and debris, but also bacteria, microorganisms that might make us sick. It's lightweight, it's easy to use, and Vestergaard also makes a series of other LifeStraw filter products, like some that go in your water bottle, some that go in your drinking reservoir, or some that can go in your filter in your refrigerator. So, make sure to pick up a LifeStraw at any of our fantastic local outdoor retailers. I can't stay here for too much longer though, because I am getting eaten alive by all the mosquitoes. So let's head on back to the car. Thank you so much for joining me for Nolan Lake on this edition of Outdoor Adventures. I'm Ben Roof. I'm gonna get out of this thunderstorm, but I hope you'll catch me next time when I go explore Beaver Lake.
Good morning, Vail.
It's time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
How do you make Anthony Edwards the face of your franchise if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves? We'll get into that.
And we say hello to our good friend Matt Verderam, who hangs out with us from SI.com. Their NFL insider, one of them, is hanging out with us on the program today.
Did you see Caitlin Clark last night?
She put up a 40-burger, hits the game-winning three as time expires.
Let's turn our attention to the Denver Broncos, one of the NFL's most dysfunctional situations.
The Sports Wrap with Jason Page.
This is Necklace. This easy-to-use, non-surgical alternative improves the appearance of sagging skin around your neck and jawline. Made from medical-grade tape, Necklace lasts up to 10 hours, giving you a firmer, smoother look all day long. Women everywhere are thrilled with the results.
Necklace is my time machine, and I'm loving life again.
Necklace is way better than surgery. It's cheaper, and it's easier.
Use the on-screen QR code or visit sagnomore.com to order now. We even give you a money-back guarantee. Try Necklace today.
Good morning,
Welcome back to the show. Fall is in full swing, and joining us now is Good Housekeeping Stephanie Sassos, a registered dietitian and personal trainer. Stephanie, how are we doing this morning?
Doing well. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you. So it's heading into flu season. It's still fall, lots going on. But what tips do you have for us to keep health at the top of the mind right now?
Yes, fall is a great time of year to settle back into our routines and prioritize healthy habits. And I think one of the best things we can do right now is focus on family mealtime. It doesn't have to be an elaborate dinner, right? It could be a quick and nourishing family breakfast to start the day strong. And one thing I love making in the morning are these wonderful little feta and tomato egg muffins using Eggland's Best. So compared to ordinary eggs, Eggland's Best has 6 times the vitamin D, 10 times the vitamin E, more than double the omega-3s, and 25% less saturated fat. Now, another one of my top tips, shopping for seasonal produce. You're going to get more nutritious options that taste great, but there actually are some fruits and vegetables that are available year-round, like Cosmic Crisp apples. These are my favorite. They are classically bred, non-GMO, and have this amazing sweet tart flavor. Now, what I love about them as a mother is that they're slow to brown, so I can chop them up and throw them into my daughter's lunchbox for school and not have to worry.
Love that. Stephanie, what are some tips, speaking of the kids, what are some tips to get the family involved in the kitchen?
Yeah, getting the kids involved in meal prep is key. They could, rip lettuce leaves, help wash the vegetables, or even help season the food. And one seasoning you're always going to find in my cabinet as a dietitian is Dash salt-free seasoning blends. They have dozens of options to choose from, and I love that they let you amp up the flavor without sacrificing on the taste. Now, the fun thing about these, again, they're salt-free, so I can let my daughter add as much as she wants to our vegetables before putting them in the oven. And while the parents and the kids are prepping dinner, you have to have something to munch on, right? So if you're craving something crunchy and sweet, look no further than Nature Fresh Farms Sweet Snaps. I mean, how gorgeous are these peppers? They are refreshing, bursting with flavor, and as a dietitian, what I love most about them is that they're high in vitamin C, a good source of fiber, super hydrating. They're greenhouse grown. You can use them on their own or incorporate them into some really nice dishes for the season.
Those are some beautiful looking peppers, Stephanie. What other nutrients do you think people must have this time of year?
Believe it or not, 95% of Americans are not meeting the fiber requirements. So a really easy way to incorporate more fiber into your diet is by eating more vegetables. And that does not have to be boring, okay? Green Giant has this new line of restaurant-style inspired veggie dishes. So these are gonna be some amazing side dishes made from premium vegetables, hearty cuts, and I love that they're gonna be easily added to the skillet or the pan. Another great fiber-packed choice is GH Steel Star Bush's zero sugar added baked beans. So it's going to give you that Bush's iconic baked beans flavor that you know and love without the added sugar. It's a great source of plant-based protein. They're great as a side on their own. Here we have them incorporated into a beautiful fall recipe with chicken, sausage, and peppers.
Everything looks so great, Stephanie, and good for you. Anything else we should have asked you? Anything else people should know, or where can we go for more information?
Yeah, we have amazing healthy eating and living resources on goodhousekeeping.com, and you could check out the latest issue of Good Housekeeping on newsstands now.
Amazing. Stephanie, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck out there in the kitchen and getting ready for fall and wrapping it up and on to the next season here.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Stay tuned. We will be back with the rest of the show.
Good morning, Vail.
Take the first game every one of us played in the schoolyard. Turn up the degree of difficulty to maximum, and then let loose some of the fastest and most agile athletes in the world to go one-on-one in what you have is the most extreme pursuit contest you've ever known. It's intense, it's addictive, and there's only one rule. Don't get caught.
Oh my gosh. If you haven't seen World Chase Tag before, here's how it works.
2 teams of up to 6 athletes compete in a series of one-on-one chases. Each chase lasts up to 20 seconds and has 1 chaser and 1 evader.
Opportunities for points on the board! Oh!
Whoever wins the duel stays on as the evader, and teams get 1 point for each evasion they make.
And it looks like the opening point for this contest.
It's the best of 16 chases to win the match, with a sudden death chase-off required to break any ties. It's win or go home from now on. Don't miss it.
Every day around the world, when tragedy, danger, and disaster strike, when life and death hang in the balance, we look to the heroes among us.
Coming up this season on Ready, Set, Renovate, we see one couple fall in love with a waterfront fixer-upper.
It sort of wrapped its arms around us and said, you want me, and we did.
And watch as another battles over the budget.
We're trying to look through and see where we can trim at this point.
Are you looking to trim it, Ginger?
No.
No. Construction pros show us the right way to renovate.
Well, we had to do a roof over. We had to hand build a lot of the trusses.
As we're putting the thin set down, the self-leveler has a little clip that clips up underneath the edge of the tile.
TV8, there's more for you on 92. Serving the local community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to Good Morning Vail. Up next, we're going to hop in the kitchen for a treat that is great for Halloween. We made it for other holidays, but these peanut butter cups are a perfect treat to cook up this Halloween. Let's take a look.
We're in the kitchen, Ross.
Here we are.
Here we are. We're standing here. This is Ross's favorite part of the morning.
Love this.
I promise. He's so excited.
Yes.
But we've got, I'm excited about this treat because it's 4 ingredients and it is a classic candy option. So we are making homemade Reese cups. How do you say Reese? I say Reese, but most people say Reese's.
Reese's.
Reese's, yeah, agreed. Reese's peanut butter cups. We're going to shape them and make them from scratch and shape them into Easter eggs.
Love it.
So it's going to be great because Easter is upon us. We've got, what, a few more, like 5 more days, 3 more days? I don't even know.
Since when is it in March?
It's always weird. Easter is one of those holidays where it's not predictable.
Yeah.
You just kind of let it happen and you're like, hey, it's March. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's coming. It's here.
Sometimes it lines up with spring break and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
But this is a really fun, easy, like non-refined sugar recipe. So we'll see how it turns out. I have not personally tried it. This is, again, another viral TikTok trend, so we'll see what happens.
We got this.
We do. It has 4 ingredients: peanut butter, maple syrup, coconut flour. You could probably also use almond flour if you wanted to, but coconut flour probably has a little bit more of a sweetness to it. And then chocolate chips. So fun fact, you need to make sure that your chocolate chips tell you how to melt them on the package because some of them maintain their shape and don't actually melt. So
how'd you figure that out, Tim?
Well, you know, we've had some fun and some experimentation in the kitchen here at the studio. So lots of trial and error.
See what happens when Kevin fills in the kitchen for me? You guys get the wrong chocolate chip.
You know, it is what it is. And we're going to have some fun here. So we're going to go ahead and get started. So we have our chocolate, and the easiest way to melt it is in the microwave. So like 30-second increments. So Ross, I'm putting you on chocolate duty. You want to make sure that you kind of stir it and make sure that it's melting, and we'll give you a spoon to stir.
Thank you.
So he'll check that out. And then we've got our simple ingredients. So we want 2 cups of peanut butter. We're doing a 1/2 cup of maple syrup. And then we're doing 3/4 of a cup of coconut flour. So I'll go ahead and get started on the 3/4 of the cup of coconut flour.
What's the rule on licking the spoon?
Well, I wouldn't
Probably
have
wait
this
till
one.
I'm done
You know, I would say don't lick the spoon and don't put it back in
It looks
to
so
the
good,
dish.
though. Okay.
But if you are doing that and you accidentally stick it back in, make sure that it's on a recipe where you can cook it, so you can like cook the germs in the oven.
So I will
So
refrain.
don't do it,
Cook.
Ross.
Okay.
Hold back. So
That's why I
asked.
Know who's in charge here.
You can save this for later. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go get started with the coconut flour. So we're doing 3/4 cup of coconut flour. And you know what's great about this recipe is like you actually don't have to have perfect and exact measurements because nothing is baking or rising. I mean, you want to make sure it's proportionate, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So looking good there. I can actually smell the coconut. I don't know if you, since you're manning the chocolate over there, Ross.
I'm going to battle over here, actually.
If you need to add more into it, if you feel like we're not going to have enough. And this recipe will make about, depending on our size, it'll probably make about 20 Reese.
So
I mean,
for
20
one
peanut butter cup, yes.
Enough for one sitting.
Enough for one sitting. So you've got that going. All right, we look good here. We're gonna do 1/2 cup of maple syrup. So you want me to, I'll man the maple while Ross.
I'm on microwave duty.
And I always talk about it, but real maple syrup, you got to go with it. You can't use a substitution. You just can't. Not in this recipe.
Have you ever heard of barrel-aged maple syrup?
No. Where's that from?
So there's an awesome company out of Indiana
that
has been at our Vail Farmers Market. It's called Burton Maplewood Farms.
Oh.
And they barrel age their maple syrup in like whiskey barrels
Oh, wow.
for over a year. So it's syrup with like
I bet that's delicious.
a peach brandy taste or a...
Sign me up.
Yeah,
That
pretty
sounds great.
tasty. We're getting there on this chocolate.
Chocolate's looking great. And it doesn't have to be done to finish making the filling for this. So we're doing 1/2 cup of maple syrup. And this is 3/4 cup. So I'm just kind of guesstimating and estimating here. What do you think? Does that look like about 1/2
That's
cup?
a lot of fractions. 1/2 and 1/3.
You know, it's a good thing that I majored in accounting originally, and I was a big math nerd. So, you know, lots of fractions. One of my
Perfect.
favorite things to work with.
Let me pull out my TI-83 real quick, and then I'll...
Don't date yourself, Ross. All right, so we've got the maple syrup, we've got the coconut flour. We are going to add 2 cups of peanut butter. So you can just use whatever you want, but you want to make sure it's creamy. You could do like if you wanted crunchy kind, but it doesn't make the same texture as like a Reese cup. So Ross is working on that chocolate, and what he's doing is melting it in 30-second increments and then giving it a stir after every 30 seconds because it'll kind of help the chocolate to melt a little bit better.
And I'm not licking the spoon.
I don't know. It sounds like maybe.
I mean, look at that. Oof.
Chocolate looks nice and creamy.
I think we're going to be good on this next one.
I think so too. And it's going to be fun because that's perfect timing. I'm going to grab one more spoon so I can scoop out the peanut butter into our single cup serving measurement. And we're just going to stir everything else. And then we'll start forming the Easter eggs. How fun is that?
It's so fun.
Yeah, and one of the tricks with dealing with this is actually making sure that your hands are a little bit wet. So I would just run them under cold water so that way the peanut butter doesn't stick to your fingers. All right, looking good. Chocolate looks good. Man, that looks great. And we're gonna actually use that chocolate to submerge the peanut butter eggs into the chocolate and cover it. And then, you know what? You let it set for 10 minutes, let the chocolate harden, and we are good to go. All right, so we've got 1 cup of peanut butter here. And Ross, I'm going to let you go ahead and get stirring on this while I get the other cup of peanut butter. Roll in.
Okay.
And then we're going to shape the eggs, dip them in the chocolate, let them sit, and maybe we'll show you what it looks like at the end of the show.
All I smell is chocolate right now. It's so glorious.
You smell chocolate. I smell coconut flour and peanut butter. You can just use that spoon and try to mix it, unless you want me to do it.
This spoon?
That spoon, the big one.
Okay.
Yeah, and we'll let you get going in that.
Can we stop using peanut butter? It's like the worst to do anything with. Just have me some alternative.
Do you want to use almond butter?
Just something that's not so sticky and gluey and.
Clearly, this guy doesn't like to get in the kitchen. But you know what? That's the beauty of the kitchen segment. It's more about my fun than it is about the recipe itself. We just hang out, looking good, Ross.
Don't you have like a blender, like a?
We do, but you know, we wanted to show the audience of what the consistency should look like, and it's a little bit easier just to do
But
it.
if you have a blender at home, blend it.
You can use like an electric hand mixer. That's probably a good one.
You could just use a spoon like we're doing.
Also that too. So you want me to go ahead and finish it?
You can be a real adult and just use a spoon.
There we go. Looking great. So we just use regular creamy peanut butter in this. I'm gonna go ahead, rinse my hands off a little bit. You got it, and I will do you the favor, Ross.
This is what you have the kids do, right? Because this is
until you
brutal.
are over the consistency. So my hands are wet.
Okay. My hands are tired.
That's fine. You can keep stirring. Well, we're gonna do a little bit of an assembly line here.
I see what we're going for now.
Yeah. You get it?
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's like the middle of, and you want it to be a little bit thicker, from what I've seen.
Now I'm getting some good smells.
That's the way to do it. Okay, looks great.
Looks great? I think so.
What do you think? You think everything's mixed together, all the flavors look good?
I've been mixing for days over here.
So I'm gonna go ahead and make the first Easter egg, and then Ross, what you're gonna do is cover it in the chocolate, and then we're gonna just put it on this, you can use tin foil or parchment paper.
Do my hands need to be wet?
No.
Okay.
Because I don't think you're gonna touch them. We're gonna use the spoons.
Okay.
So I'm gonna shape it into an egg, and then you're just gonna put it in the fridge and let it form up. There we go. I mean, if you want to. You want to get in here and get a little bit
You're
messy.
doing great.
Right? Looks good. So shape it like an Easter egg. That looks good enough. And the best part is, I'm just going to cover that in the chocolate. Looking great. Perfect. So we've got, looks good. You just want to make sure all sides are completely covered.
Oh boy.
And I'll make the next one. We'll make a few, and then we'll pop them in the fridge. You leave them in the fridge let the peanut butter kind of melt together, set together. It looks great. I'm telling you, homemade is the best, so it doesn't really matter how beautiful it is.
I mean, I know it's gonna taste so good.
We are not candy experts here, but we are doing our best to eliminate the refined sugars. It's gonna be just as good as a commercial peanut butter cup made in a factory. But you know what's great about this recipe?
It's fun.
You can use sugar-free syrup and sugar-free chocolate chips if you wanted it to be keto.
Nice.
So, it's like a guilt-free Reese treat. Looks great, Ross. You looks great. Well, I'm excited. I'm going to keep working on these peanut butter cups, and then we're going to pop them in the fridge. What's great about them is that once you pop them in the fridge, they should last for about 2 weeks covered at room temperature, and then they also last for about 6 months if you put them in the freezer.
Nice.
So that's the fun part. We'll do that, and I'm going to wash my hands or continue this during commercial break, and then Ross is going to pop these in the fridge, and then maybe we'll show them to you at the end of the show. But that's it. 4-ingredient Reese peanut butter cup tastes alike, so we'll see what it turns out.
It's going to be good.
And it's going to be so great. We'll be right back after this.
Well, let's check out our eggs.
They look absolutely delicious.
They do.
They've hardened, they look homemade, which is great because it shows it was made from love.
Yeah.
But if you wanted the chocolate to kind of be like perfectly shaped, you could put it on like a cookie drying rack and let like the chocolate drip through. But looks great to me. Should we try it?
Let's do it.
I'm so excited. Do you love peanut butter and chocolate?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm jazzed. Well, I'm gonna try it out. But chocolate, shall we?
Yeah, I kind of want to just. Oh yeah, I like the way it breaks.
It's perfect. If you wanted it to be a little bit more dry, we probably could have added more coconut flour, but.
Oh, do we need to talk anymore? Are we good?
That's great.
Oh my God.
Peanut butter in the mouth. Great show today.
I can't talk anymore.
We had a blast. Always fun with you in the kitchen.
Man, that peanut butter is thick. But
It really is. But you know what? It's a great, healthier version of your traditional Reese's.
Oh, man.
But if you wanted to add more sugar, make it more sweet, you could.
Good morning, Vail.
One of the longest-running syndicated television series is back, America's Black Forum, a weekly series highlighting the latest in our lifestyles, business, entertainment, and finance. We introduce you to entrepreneurs who are making their mark in the business world and leaders who are fighting for change.
Welcome to America's Black Forum.
Tune in each week to know what's happening in our world today on America's Black Forum.
I'm Amy Goodman, host of Democracy Now! Our independent news hour offers diverse perspectives and unique opinions, often unheard in the mainstream media, live as the news unfolds. Tune in for Democracy Now!, the War and Peace Report, weekday mornings at 9 and evenings at 6 on TV8 Vail, Comcast Xfinity Channel 92. There's more for you on Channel 92.
Learn the latest in science each week and how it relates to everyday life. From space exploration to plant biology to the latest in high-tech advances. Every new scientific development is explored and explained in an understandable way. Amazing stories each week. Watch Science Now.
I'm Danella Richard. I've made a career traveling the world. I've worked for some of the biggest names in travel, and now I've traded in my business suit for a swimsuit. Swimming with the sharks, swinging at the edge of the world, throwing back a few shots, or shall I say spirits, eating some of the best cuisine, and even making a few furry friends along the way. I invite you to come along with me and discover the world.
Hi there. Are you ready to explore famous neighborhoods from New York City to Kentucky? Watch The Neighborhood with host Nicole Newman. Featuring famous people, unique history, and delicious places to eat and drink. Our viewers get an inside personal look at each neighborhood. With each episode we learn, grow, laugh, and live like a local, not just a visitor. Welcome to The Neighborhood. Check your local program schedule and tune in.
Hey, it's your boy, Nephew Tommy, your host for an all-new season of Black College Quiz, where the nation's best and brightest display their knowledge of Black history and culture while competing for prizes and scholarships. So get ready to see HBCU Nation take the academic field. Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Black College Quiz! BCQ! Yeah, man.
Good morning, Vail.
Welcome back to the show. Up next, we're going to check in on some experts about COPD, a disease that affects people's lungs. Let's take a look.
Hi, my name is Dr. Milan Han, and I'm a pulmonologist at the University of Michigan. And I'm here today to talk to you about COPD and a new treatment option that's available. I'm here today in partnership with Regeneron and Sanofi to kind of get the word out for patients and physicians. So if you're not familiar with COPD, it's a progressive disease of the lungs that can cause damage and make it really difficult for patients to breathe. Many patients are treated with inhalers, but for many, that treatment isn't adequate. And so I'm here today to talk about a new medication that's available called dupilumab, also known as Dupixent. And it targets a very specific type of inflammation that we can COPD driven by a type of white blood cell that's called the eosinophil. So we're understanding that for some patients, eosinophils really are driving flare-ups of the disease that we as physicians call exacerbations. These are periods where patients get really short of breath, need additional medication to treat, and sometimes can even end up in the emergency room or the hospital. So Dupixent helps to target this type of eosinophilic inflammation and over time can decrease the frequency of these flare-ups. Now, Dupixent doesn't replace a rescue inhaler, but again, over time in combination with a patient's maintenance medications can help to reduce the frequency of exacerbations. So as a physician, I'm really excited to have a new treatment option for my patients because many of my patients have been on the existing medications for many years and are still experiencing exacerbations. But like with any medication, it's always about risks and benefits. There are potential side effects, so if you're allergic to Dupixent or any of the compounds in the injection, you wouldn't want to use it. Other side effects that have been reported include eye problems, joint aches, and pain. So like with any new medication, you always want to start by having a conversation with your doctor. Talk to them about your COPD. Ask them about whether you've ever had your eosinophils levels checked and whether that might be appropriate. You can also find more information on the website, Dupixent.com.
Welcome back to the TV8 Weather Center on this Thursday morning. I'm your host, Ross Leonhardt. 44 degrees to start the day at 8 a.m. We'll see a high of 70 degrees, and we are going to enjoy the 70-degree temperatures while they last. Mostly sunny skies today, some low winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour coming from the west-southwest today. Into the hourly, things heat up to about 64 degrees at noon, keeping those sunny skies out there. And at 4 p.m., temperatures hit 69 degrees with partly cloudy skies and down to 57 degrees at 8 p.m. with partly cloudy skies tonight. Into the I-70 corridor, Eagle, a high of 77 degrees today. Avon, a high of 73. Vail still at 70. Denver in the 80s today, and lots of sunshine in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado today. Tonight, a low of 42 degrees with partly cloudy skies and a sunset at 6:44 p.m. If you have not been catching these sunsets lately, they have been insane, and these nighttime skies have been booming. So get out at nighttime, check out the skies. Some winds die down to 5 to 10 miles per hour coming from the south-southeast tonight. Into the rest of the weekend and early next week, partly cloudy skies on Friday and Saturday with the highs hovering around just below 70 and the lows just above 40. So pretty chilly mornings, warming up during the days, and into the weekend, Sunday, a chance of afternoon showers with a high of 66. And into next week, mostly sunny skies expected to start the day. But as you can see, those highs are below 70 the next couple days. So enjoy it while it lasts. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks to Nick and Terry in the back. We will see you guys tomorrow morning.
Good morning. So many things to see and do. Summer, winter, spring, or fall. Your home in the Rockies.